This is not Lego. Hello, my friends, and welcome to brickbending. Today, we're going to be doing something that I've never done before, and that is part of the fun I've been having with these process videos. Creating parts that don't exist, and going on a quest for ultimate Lego satisfaction. But today, we are going to build something absolutely amazing that you cannot build in Lego. For those of you who've been around the channel, you know or can probably guess that I have a deep love for Lego bricks. At this point, they're just part of who I am. But I am not a Lego purist. And as we've seen in previous videos, there are definitely some holes in the Lego part catalog. And that is where the sponsor of today's video comes into play, webrick. Over the years, I've had a number of Lego-compatible part manufacturers reach out to me, and what I typically do is ask for a sample. Some of those parts have been okay, some of those parts have been not so okay, but in the end, I've always been suspicious of Lego-compatible parts being able to handle the stress, and some would say abuse, that I put these bricks through. But with webrick's sample, I have to say I was impressed, so I agreed. And today, we're going to look at the first of 3 builds that I have had around my studio for a number of years, but each one just wasn't quite right. And when perusing through webrick's part catalog, I found some elements that you simply cannot get in Lego. And part of what is going to make today's video an adventure is that I have not opened the box yet. So cracking that open, seeing what we've got, is step number 1. So here we go. Welcome to the world of transparent 1x4 plates. I literally got a little giddy when I was going through webrick's inventory. Transparent parts are relatively rare in the Lego world, and there are reasons for that, but I am not remotely close to being an expert on the history of Lego part production. But needless to say, you can find a rare few transparent clear 1x4 plates on bricklink.com. But they are expensive, and there are very, very few. And I now have hundreds. But how do they compare to a traditional Lego 1x4 plate? Well, let's find out. So it's a little bit unfair for me to compare a transparent clear webrick to a white Lego plate, because if you're like me, the transparent clear just obviously has an aesthetic appeal to it. And the white Lego plate, well, white is notorious for yellowing over time. But there is a reason. The build I have here in my studio is built out of white for a reason. And the only color that I think would make it even better is transparent clear. So let's put it through some tests. Clutch power looks good. The clutch when I'm hinging and rotating also seems very comparable. Let's do some stacking. Very happy with the clutch. But I would say up until now, I am feeling very satisfied. So it's time to get building. All right, my friends, it's worth pausing for a second and talking about this really interesting pattern. So I have this 5-pointed star in the center, and that's the version of this that has made me the happiest. But there is an alternative version worth showing. Welcome to the 6-pointed star, also known as a hexagram, embedded in a crystal snowflake. I do like it, but that 6-pointed symmetry, hexagonal symmetry, it's pretty ubiquitous. 5s are just far more rare, so we're sticking with 5. Of course, the best is yet to come. But let's talk about the sponsor of this video. Webrick is an amazing source for high-quality LEGO-compatible bricks, both individually and in bulk. From what I've seen from the premium bricks so far, they're almost indistinguishable from LEGO bricks, and Webrick has an unrivaled selection of part and color options that simply don't exist in the LEGO part catalog. And if you want to build like I do, where you need a lot of the same type of part, webrick.com might just be exactly what you're looking for. It's a very similar experience to Bricklink, but unlike Bricklink, you'll only need one order, so you'll only have to pay for shipping once, and that's huge. From what I've seen so far, production times can be long depending on what's available, but shipping time and shipping costs are actually pretty reasonable, particularly compared to Bricklink. And if you follow the Webrick link in the description, you can order amazing transparent elements by the kilogram, and you can help support the channel. All right, my friends, let's keep going. This fascinating, kind of crystalline, transparent, pentagonal snowflake, it's interesting. And it is 100% made of webrick, but it's based on an original LEGO sculpture. Now at this point, I wouldn't call it a 100% upgrade. Part of it is just the nature of the transparent plates. Just really blurs the lines together. So I really actually like what I'm seeing here on the left, although you might also be able to see why I've never been quite happy with the LEGO version. So the snowflake vibes that this thing gives off are strong, and that is why I built it in white. But white pieces are relatively hard to come by, and the big downside of white LEGO is that they yellow over time. So I could have built this in black, which would be interesting, or blue, or red. But when I saw the clear, transparent parts from Webrick, I knew what I wanted to do. And overall, I'd say this is a win. Crystalline snowflake win. And whether you like the standard 5-pointed star or that upside down pentagram, that's more your style, whatever floats your boat. On this one, I'm feeling more traditional. So as a direct comparison, I have to say I'm more happy with the Webrick. But of course, we're not done. This thing is a beast. The comparison to the original Lego sculpture is a little unfair at this point, but part of this game was once I knew I could get hold of transparent clear plates, well, I wanted to see what this thing would look like when I cranked up the layers. And at 15 layers, it is solid. There are definitely some cons to this design. You can see that there is play, and so sometimes it's hard to keep the various arms of the snowflake exactly where you want them, or these triangular shapes. But not a bad trade-off. Going back to the tops of these studs, no logo. Just a smooth, shiny face and an occasional manufacturing dot. And the transparency and the thickness, it's almost like it's out of focus when you look at it. When you add a lot of layers to medium azure or black, you get a solid looking build. And straight on, it looks that way, but even when I focus, it looks a little fuzzy. That could be an asset. So one final shot of these two interesting cousins, maybe? And the point here is not to bag on the Lego. I'd actually love to see a bright white version of this design. But for now, that's not in the cards. And I will take the transparent webrick for the win. As always, thanks my friends. Check out the sponsor link in the description. Join our free community on Patreon. Take a look at my art shop on brickbending.com. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.